Jace. I train out of Renegade MMA under Jamie Murray, an Australian elite team black belt. I initially started here when the doors first opened, in the first couple of months of them of this gym, Renegade, operating. Saw a few flyers flying around Kensington, and I knew it was a calling. I tried to ignore it, but they just kept popping up on my doorstep, in my letterbox, at the train station, just everywhere, and that was about 7 years ago now. Competition jiu-jitsu is what I thrive on. It forces me to focus my energies in understanding jiu-jitsu in a pressure environment. It focuses all my energy on focusing on technique that works for me. And what attracts me to competitions generally is being able to benchmark yourself against the best on the day. So if I'm going to a state championships, it's most likely going to be the best in that state in my division. And currently training for the Worlds, I really want to benchmark myself and see how I compare against the best in the world. I was actually thinking about my first time starting out in jiu-jitsu not long ago, and I remember before I even put my first gi on, and when I was rolling out of my friend's garage, I was a bit of a spaz. Like, I look back now and I remember thinking, I'm on the ground, I'm completely defenseless, I have no idea what to do, I can't wrestle for shit. And I remember my mate just hovering over me. He was about 25 kilos heavier than I, and I thought, I've got to keep this guy away from me. So I started to just try to kick him away. And to me, looking back, that was probably the spazziest white belt thing I could have done. At the beginning of the year, when I was drawing up my goals for the year, one of them was potentially to head over to the Worlds. And after a chat to my coach, Jamie, we decided collectively that it would be in my best interest to prepare myself by going through as many competitions as possible. And I think I've signed up to every possible AFBJJ, IBJJF competition in Australia this year. World Prep this year, I've taken a slightly different approach, more of a scientific approach. Trying to break down my game. So maybe 3 months ago, I went through everything I knew about jiu-jitsu and tried to find all the little intricate gaps of my game and which areas to improve. It's probably my 6th, 7th competition this year. I've competed in Queensland, I'm competing in Tassie this weekend. Just managed to compete and win the Melbourne Open last weekend. And the Pan Pacs as well last year. So in terms of preparation, I think I've thrown myself in the deep end and competed as much as possible. Utilising the skills of my coach Jamie, as well as the AET coaches and some of the black belts out there, I've managed to find solutions to some of those gaps. One of my closest training partners, some of my closest training partners, they're also purple belts at Renegade, and they range from, I believe, 56 kilos at the moment, all the way through to 97 kilos. You've got the likes of Luke Smith, Mikey, you've got some up-and-coming blue belts such as Harrison and Abdi, who have a young person's game, very flexible, and because of the vast array of jiu-jitsu styles at Renegade, I seem to have a very complete package of training partners that I can test myself against. 5 years from now, I'll probably see myself still in the jiu-jitsu scene. Ideally, I'd still be competing at an international level. I do really enjoy competition, simply because competition puts you in a slightly different mindset. It takes your training to be, instead of relaxed, it makes it very focused, and you improve at a much greater pace. If I could, maybe one day down the track I'll open up my own school, but I'll see what happens. Right now, the short term and medium term is just focusing on improving my knowledge in Jiu-Jitsu. Overseas has been interesting. It's funny where this sport takes you. You tend to meet a lot of people with very different backgrounds, but who enjoy the same thing. I remember the first time I trained overseas, it was actually in Taiwan. Trained out of Taiwan BJJ for a couple of days as a blue belt, and that was fantastic. Met some great people there, some who I still speak to, and that was maybe 5 years ago. And then when I went to the Worlds 2 years back, I trained at Cabrinha's a couple of times, and that was phenomenal to see the amount of world-class athletes on the mat. It was absolutely crazy. Met my idol, Bruno Malfacine, and to see Cabrinha in action, rolled with Kennedy, Cabrinha's son. It was really good. It was phenomenal.
What's the difference between a white belt and a black belt? Time. That's all it is, just time on the mat, focusing on your training, and you will eventually get better. Okay guys, thank you.